who has kind of renewed my faith in this next generation. This young man came to me. He's always been there when we do our flag retirement ceremonies, which we incinerate flags at the fairgrounds a couple times every couple years. When a flag becomes unserviceable, there's different ways that you can dispose of it. But the way that we always choose is by incineration. So we have a big bonfire at the fairgrounds, and we incinerate the flags. This young man has always come out there. He's helped us with that. He's always first one at the cemetery to help us put flags on veterans' graves on Memorial Day. Because we go out there, we walk the cemetery and put flags on that out there as well. So a while back, he asked me if I would be his sponsor for his Eagle Scout project. And he has seen a need for a good flag retirement box. We had one in the courthouse, but it was substandard. But I told him as long as I don't have to actually build it, because he would certainly not become an Eagle Scout if I constructed it, because it would be not good. So I told him, yes, I would gladly be a sponsor, and my job is kind of find a home to this. The twin to this is in the Cheyenne County Courthouse in the main hallway, so now people can either drop their flag off for retirement either at City Hall or the county courthouse. I think it's two best places for local government that we could do that. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Grady Kendall to you guys, and you guys can grill him. And he does have some things, some prepared comments for you, so be gentle.
Excellent.
Grady?
First, I'd like to thank City Council for having me here today. I'd also like to thank Fred for being my sponsor and proving feedback, oversight, and communication with all of you guys and lining things up. Some key volunteers that helped me build this thing and are Kenny Gifford and Ed Kendall. I'd also like to recognize those that have donated time, supplies, and financially. A couple of those are Triple O's Building Supplies, SJD Trucking, Luke Chan Metal Products, and Troop 90. What an Eagle Scout project is. An Eagle Scout project is a significant community service initiative undertaken by a Boy Scout as part of the requirements to achieve the highest rank of Eagle Scout within the Boy Scouts of America. The project involves planning, developing, and leading others in a substantial effort that benefits a community organizations other than BSA. It's a demonstration of leadership, project management, and commitment to a community service. The importance of an Eagle Scout project. The importance of an Eagle Scout project lies in its roles of fostering essential life skills such as leadership, responsibility, and the ability to coordinate and execute a complex plan. Additionally, these projects have a lasting positive impact on the community, addressing various local needs and often resulting in meaningful improvements. Successfully completing an Eagle Scout project is a significant milestone that reflects the Scouts' dedication, initiative, and capability to making a difference in their community. My project. Within the last year, I had started looking for an Eagle Scout project. I was in the courthouse and saw there was a little cardboard box that said flag retirement in it. I was like, that's not right. We need something a little better. I came up with the idea to create a better solution that would benefit the community. I later went to Fred, asked for his ideas on the box. He was supportive of the project. From there, we formed a plan and started working on the process. My next steps for getting my Eagle Scout is submit my final paperwork, go through my board of review, and then my Eagle Scout ceremony. My final budget of my boxes were $950 total, and that was for hardware, wood, and supplies. What we've covered so far is $650 covered by current donations, and $300 still needed to cover final cost of the project. I was wondering if the city council would like to donate to the project any. And then again, thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, what are they?
We have plenty of questions.
Okay.
What's the exact total you're short?
$300.
300 even.
Yes, sir.
David, do we have that in our budget?
And you are the sole person that can do that.
Well,
Mayor is the one.
you
that
have come
has
to the right spot.
We have-
I don't
we-
even
we
have to
do
get
have a-
permission?
We have money set just aside just for this, the Boy Scout Fund. I don't think it has a ton in it, but I know it has 300 in there, so, and it's up to the mayor to award those funds for Eagle Scout projects. I think the last one that did it was, your predecessor, I believe.
Okay.
Roger
Well,
Galloway
excellent.
did one for.
Well, we've got to ask him a whole bunch of questions before we're going to cough up this $300. Well, yeah, and clearly, you went to a lot of work, and this is one of two, correct?
Sir.
That you've made. And I assume this is your family behind you?
Yes.
Very proud of this young man, I imagine. Yes, and you know, for as Fred said, you know, a teenager to notice something and decide that he doesn't feel that this is giving the retired flags the proper retirement that they need, and to decide to do this as an Eagle Scout, I think that says volumes for your character and the way you've been brought up, and it's just very, very, very pleasing to see something like this. And so we appreciate you not only doing this, coming to us and presenting it. And, you know, I don't know a lot of people that don't think Fred is a excellent role model, his service and stuff like that. So you clearly picked a very fine person to help guide you through this. And how close does this put you to becoming an Eagle Scout?
Pretty close. I just have to fill out some paperwork and submit it to the board or my higher ups.
Once you get the $300,
Yes, sir.
to pay this thing off. Well, this is fantastic. Do you gentlemen have any questions? Yeah. Well, again, the city appreciates the veterans and all the people that have served this country. I'm sure are very proud of what you're doing. And with my powers, I grant you your $300 to finish your project.
Thank you.
And we can come by, and I'm sure Lori will cut you a check tomorrow for that. Or does it have to go through some sort of process?
Kagan's out tomorrow, but I might be able to find that. It's been a while since I've done that.
We'll get it to you.
We'll get it to you for sure.
Yeah, you got my promise.
Does it go to
Please enjoy your Thanksgiving.
is it to you or to the troop? Who is it? Write it to you. Okay.
Yeah,
It's right in the front.
we got everything's being recorded and everything. So this is awesome. Well, again, thank you so much
Thank you.
for doing what you do, and glad to help be part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know about you guys. That was definitely worth some applause.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
could I get a picture?
Do I get to be in the picture?
All three of y'all.
Well, let's all go down there then.
Paid $300 for a picture.
This is awesome. Well, we clearly, I think you need to stand on one side of it. I think we stand here and let these gentlemen on the other side.
Actually, Fred, I'd like to have you in there as well.
You almost got out of it.
He makes me look small.
Somehow scrunch in just a little bit. Right. All right. Oh, sorry. Back up. Back in spot.
No, then Fred.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right.
Some. Good call.
I know. You got his picture in the paper.
Solid quality, isn't it?
Huh?
It's solid quality.
Yeah, that is really nice, and I don't know if
You're never
anybody
gonna
down
find
there
it.
can see that. There's a flag on the top there too.
You're never gonna
burnt
find another
in.
bargain like that for $300.
Yeah, it's a heck of a deal. All right, Heidi, tell us all about the Emergency Communications Center.
It is. It is.
Yeah, what'd you build?
I don't know. Listen, you guys are going to be bored to tears.
I don't think so.
Okay. For anybody who's not familiar, I am Heidi Gillespie, and I am the director for the Cheyenne County Emergency Communications Center. I've been there now for just over 11 years, and I have been in public safety for almost 25 years. Our communication center provides emergency communications and dispatching for all public safety entities in Cheyenne and Dual counties, with the exception of the State Patrol, who maintain their own dispatch centers. So that boils down to 3 law enforcement agencies, 7 fire departments, and 2 ambulance services. Currently, I have 7 full-time employees, including myself, and I still have 2 open full-time positions yet to fill. And I do have some stats for our center for 2024 so far. We only got a month to go, but as of this afternoon, our comm center has created roughly 18,920 calls for service. Compared to 2023, we had a total of 21,251. And based on our prior history, by the end of this calendar year, we can anticipate adding between 1,700 to 2,000 more. Approximately 6,460 of those have been for the police department. Last year, the PD had 8,135. The Cheyenne County Sheriff's Office has 6,030 so far for this year. Last year, they had 6,637. Dual County is the other county that we dispatch for, and so far this year they have 2,671 calls for service compared to 2,535 for last year. I also did the numbers for the ambulance services. We have 2 ambulance services that we dispatch for. So far this year, we are at 1,091 ambulance calls compared to 1,249 for last year. So I think it's going to be pretty much the same by the end of this year as it was for the last year. Calls for the 7 different fire departments that we dispatch for will be roughly equal to that of the ambulance services combined. And I would like to just briefly give a shout out to the Sydney Fire Department, especially in the last few days, because they've been busy. But over the course of the last couple of years, they have really stepped up their game and become an outstanding asset to this community. And we in Dispatch see and appreciate all the improvements they've made. They're doing a fantastic job, and they deserve to be recognized for it. Moving on, some more boring numbers. 911 calls this year so far. We have answered 4,165 and 26,132 non-emergent phone calls for service. Last year, 911 calls were 5,103, and the non-emergent phone lines were 37,119. So we average between 350 to 400 911 calls per month, and anywhere between 1,500 to 3,000 non-emergent phone calls. So to process all these calls for service, our comm center uses not just equipment, but an ever-increasing number of software programs and platforms to try to provide the best possible service to our responders and our citizens. For the equipment, we are part of a group of 23 counties that share a phone system. Sharing this phone system provides a couple of benefits. The biggest benefit is that it helps to mitigate operating costs through the use of that shared equipment while maintaining access to the newest and most advanced telephone processing equipment available. In April of this year, our comm center completed the installation of a new public safety rated radio console equipment, which was not only desperately needed, but this is the same equipment that is used in Gering and Chadron and Alliance. So, along with our participation in this phone system and the radios, our comm center is now essentially able to be a virtual backup option for all 3 of those communities, and they in return can be that for us as well. So what that means is that if something happens that takes down the 911 center cell phones or center's phone system in Scotts Bluff, Their phones will automatically be forwarded to our comm center with no delay in services to those citizens needing help, and vice versa. And now with our radio consoles, that can be the case for radio communications as well. The different frequencies used by other jurisdictions can now be programmed remotely and added to our radio consoles very quickly so we can help other comm centers who may experience outages and need assistance. So this is extremely exciting to me to have this virtual redundancy for both phones and radio communication. We do also have additional redundancy because that's what I'm all about. Backups to the backups to the backups, right? With Region 21's mobile command unit that has been fully outfitted for remote dispatching needs. We're no longer fully reliant on needing extra equipment that is often outdated and incredibly expensive to maintain. It's really just impossible financially for communities like ours. And then I'd like to touch briefly on some of the software platforms that I mentioned a moment ago. Our center's been able to leverage several different programs in the last year to 2 years to help us provide the best possible efficiency and service. We do have text to 911. We've had that for about 5 years. I would like to add the caution, though, that for text to 911, as it has been advertised, the caution is, call if you can and text if you can't. It's always more efficient to make a voice phone call whenever you can if you need 911. Texting is a one-at-a-time type of conversation, and it inherently that makes it take a little bit longer. So it's still faster to have a voice call. We have a software service called Rapid SOS, which has been provided to us by the state, and it's used for a variety of purposes. Primarily, it's used to help us in locating 911 callers. People oftentimes aren't necessarily aware of where they are, or they might be traveling through and not familiar with the area. So we can use this Rapid SOS platform along with our phone equipment to help triangulate and figure out where these people are within a pretty small radius. It's awfully accurate. Recent enhancements to this program allow it to interface with other applications as well and provide us with additional information about a call. For instance, it can not only show us the XY coordinates of a phone location, and now the Z axis as well, which is height above the earth. It's not a huge boon to us out here in this rural region where we don't have a lot of multi-story buildings, but it's still very useful in some circumstances. It also has the ability to show us real-time updates on a moving cell phone. So for instance, if you call 911 while you're driving, it'll drop a succession of pins every few seconds to show us what direction that phone's moving in, so we can track somebody in real time where they're moving at, and that can help as well. There's an additional program that we use called Prepared Live. It's a software program that's interfaced with Rapid SOS and allows dispatchers to send a hyperlink to a cell phone that's dialed 911. If the caller accesses that hyperlink, it allows them to share photos and videos that they've stored in their phone if they want to do that. It also allows them to live stream video with us in the comm center if they want to share with us what they're seeing on scene in the moment. So this is what in the industry we call next gen 911, the Internet of Things. And this is part of that process of us trying to integrate with that. It's hard to keep up technologically. So this is a great program that's helping us bridge that gap right now. It could be used for taking reports of an accident, or someone reporting a domestic disturbance or a suspicious person. If they take pictures or if they have a video, or say someone wants to report a drunk driver, they can take a photo of that license plate and share that with us, and it may help us identify that driver faster. Another software platform that we use is called Panhandle Alert. It's a mass notification program that allows us to send out emergency messages to the public within a defined geographic area. It can reach any kind of device that's connected to a cell phone tower. So it also allows us to send it to emails. You have to sign up for the emails, but even landline phones. We just draw a geofence around the targeted area, create the message that needs to be sent out, and then the program will target all the devices within that geofence and send them the message. And the citizens don't have to sign up to receive emergency messages, but if they want additional notifications, they can visit that website to sign up. Lastly, I want to take a moment to thank this council for all the support we've received over the years and for the opportunity to speak here this evening. And that's really all I have. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them for you.
Fantastic. I'm sure we got questions. Number one, so you started off by saying these are boring numbers, but I think you undersell yourself. This is quite a task. You guys are the communication between us and the first responders in a lot of situations, whether they just call the non-communication line or the 911 number or whatever. So I think it would be remiss for us not to say thank you for what you do in your part, because clearly this is a service that not a lot of people see, but it's there, and apparently there's room for 2 more
There is.
to do this. And if somebody wanted a job like that, what would their hours be?
So it would be full-time, so it'd be 40 hours a week, but obviously we do shift work because somebody always has to be there. So currently they're on a 12-hour shift rotation. So everybody gets like every other weekend off is the way that it works.
Okay, very nice. And I'm sure you're pitching in right now.
Oh, yes.
So it wouldn't bother you too much if you found 2 more people soon, right?
No, it sure wouldn't.
That is awesome.
Sure wouldn't.
And well, that was one of my questions you answered already. And then I think that's all I got. I tried to have a whole bunch of questions. But
So the programs, like the text to 911, and like you said, the one program where you can take a picture of the truck driver and send it. Does the community know about these? Like, do you have that out there where people know?
Those are actually really new for us.
Okay.
So no, I haven't made like a public, this is honestly
Okay.
the first time publicly I've been speaking about it. It takes some training and stuff to make sure that we're using it
Correctly.
correctly. So nope, not yet.
Timeline on when you're gonna roll that out? 'Cause that's some really cool stuff.
I mean, it's available right now.
Right.
So
But
I
just
just,
to let people know.
yeah, I just need to let people know. And I don't have a timeline, but I'm certainly flexible. I can do it whenever.
We should get 2 more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times you get on just right here on I-80 and you're like, yeah, this guy, you know.
Yeah.
And then the picture never goes nowhere. You just calm down and keep driving and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that would be advantageous to, once you have the time to get that out, maybe come back to us and maybe we can help get that rolled out to let the community know,
Okay.
hey, these programs are here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to have that available for us.
well, so basically all the services, like if I called the police station right now, that number rolls to the communication center
Mhm.
at a certain point, and all the other. What is the communication center have its own phone number?
It does. Yes. Yeah, so we answer all of the phones for the police department, but we have our own non-emergent phone lines as well. We are in the basement of the courthouse. Yeah. Well, it's not in a real visible place for a reason.
Yeah.
So,
Thought you were over there in that building across from the Elks.
yeah.
Technically, she is.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
yeah. That's the CenturyLink building, but yeah.
Just different directions.
Yeah. They like to keep us in the dungeon.
Well, that's awesome. Any more questions?
Mr. Mayor, I just have one quick one. Where would someone go to apply for those open positions you have?
So, I can, if somebody wants to call down to the comm center, or they can, contact the clerk's office for an
Okay, oh, cool.
application.
Perfect.
I can mail them or email them.
Well, hopefully you get that filled and be up and running and continue to do the good work you guys do.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you, Heidi.
right.
I appreciate your
Yeah.
update.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Hank, brought a friend, so it means we're getting ready to fix something.
Hopefully. Hank with the street department, and we're here to talk about the 13th Avenue over underpass project. Prepared from a traffic accident happened over a year or so ago. It's been an on-trying deal to figure out how we're going to be able to do it, to repair it. Have structural engineers involved. MC Schaff is here with us tonight too. We sent it out for bids the first time, and we didn't get any. And that was like precast panels put in place and lowered them in. And then nobody seemed to want to do that. And so we went with pour in place now, and we did get 2 bids. And as you see, there's quite a bit of difference in the 2 bids. They also stated that they could start in March, or else they could start in December. I don't want no December stuff. I do not want that underpass closed to 1 lane in the wintertime and trying to take snow out there in 1 lane. And I have some pretty good relationship with Sam so far. And if we did that, his cops would be down there, his officers, doing traffic accident reports right and left. And then he might not like to get along so good. So I'd rather keep him good with him, because that would be a heck of a hazard and it'd be a dangerous thing to do. So I'd say we would stay in March. They have here, MC Shaft took the bids and everything, wrote up the project, how it should be done. And they're the ones that took the bids. And they was all pretty close, within a certain amount. And you see the orange part there. And that was mostly in the panel, tearing it out and replacing it. That underpass is old. It's got a lot of rebar in it, so it's going to be interesting. It's not an easy project. It's not a simple tear it out, throw it up. We don't know how far back behind where the roadway part of it is, how much that's going to be taken out. You don't know how much of the fill behind the walls looks like until you start tearing it apart. And so it's not going to be a real easy, fast fix. People are going to have to be patient with this because it's going to take quite some time to repair it and fix it. So we're here to see for you guys to award the bid to Christensen Trucking is the low bid. And if you have any other questions about how any of the stuff was put together, Don Dye here from MC Schaff could answer any questions you have concerning any of the bid process or anything. If you guys have any questions.
Well, certainly, yeah. Is there anything from the other 2 bids that would lean us towards taking them over the lowest bid?
No, I don't think so. Infinity Construction said they could start, whenever it would deemed necessary with the city. And they did include some cold weather provisions in there in order to do, ground warming or stuff like that. Chrisman did say if they did start earlier, it'd be about $17,000 is what they would request in cold weather protection. We're kind of in agreement with Hank. I think we should wait till spring and do it after snow's done, hopefully by then. So that would be our recommendation for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. And I don't think Sam would ever get mad at you. He'd probably just keep going down there and.
Always cover your back, Brad. I tried to teach you that.
Well, you could tell me something a couple of times and it doesn't work.
And
But-
is someone's insurance company paying for this?
We will be filing an insurance claim, and as Don said, it'd be more expensive to do it in the winter, and for multiple reasons. I agree with both their assessments that that's not the wise way to go, but clearly an insurance company would say if you spent more to do it when you could have waited, they're not going to want to cover that. They like fighting everything, so which they should, if they were your company, you'd want them to do the same thing. But I just know our luck, we would tear it out and then bomb blizzard the next day or something. And
We don't want to create one of those unnecessarily.
What could be, you know, an X amount of time that we would be down to one lane could be tripled or quadrupled, I think, by doing it in the winter. But
Christian Trucking is the one that did our parking lots at the golf course, the swimming pool, Memorial Gardens, and different sidewalks around town. He's the one who did all that and some of the trail stuff this spring and summer. So he's been here, worked before. We have seen his work. I think Don thinks they do a good enough job.
Yeah.
Don does a pretty good job, Shasta. If they don't think nobody's qualified, they tell us.
I think either one of the bidders were qualified
Yeah,
to do
they're
the work.
They're both good contractors.
It's not too late to start my underpass repair side business. In fairness, I have not paid close attention to how much damage is over there, but when I look at that number, I went,
It's
It is a lot,
significant,
but
it's
It's
significant.
not an easy project. I mean, those panels are 20 foot wide or something like that. And so it's a significant project, but then the railing on top is damaged too, so that, and to fabricate that back to what kind of match what's there, you know, that's built in probably the 30s or 40s. So it's definitely gonna be a challenging project. You know, we initially bid it out as the kind of the cast or the precast panel so that we could try to restrict the number of time that we were kind of down to one lane underneath there. But nobody was really interested in
bringing some big heavy
doing
man
that.
in.
So we kind of given an alternate to do this way, and we did get 2 bids this time, so that was good. And it was underneath the engineer's estimate.
I think if we would have had to done it with the panels, like Don said, it would have been faster, but then they gotta bring cranes in and everything else to lower it in, so I'm sure that cost would be substantially higher if we did it that way. And nobody's interested in wanting to do it, and I think that's probably one of the reasons is because of the crane service you'd have to have.
Sure, it's not an easy job, so.
No, it's, and a lot of that, I'm sure they have to leave open because, like I said, you start taking that street out, you don't know how much, over the years, how much of the backflow fill is not there no more, or, and there's a lot of rebar in there, a lot of rebar. They built things pretty heavy duty back in those days. So it's definitely not an easy fix. It's gonna take some time and,
So you're thinking like all summer, Hank, or?
We gave them 60 calendar days to final completion, so I mean, if it all goes well, I think that's doable.
That way when people start asking, because, you know, they'll be happy at first, and then they'll be,
oh, yep, you
how long
got
is
her.
this gonna take? And then they'll see the dirt falling in, and then they'll, you know, so at least we can tell them, you know, we're looking at 2, 3 months.
And that railing's gonna be hard to try to match and everything, cause it's no longer made, so they're probably gonna have to have somebody fabricate something, or see if they can straighten any of it out, you don't know. So,
At least we got it, like you said, 60 calendar days. We'll start there. and-
Yep. and one thing with Shasta, I'll know it'll be done right, because it's a great engineering firm, is my point of view, is that they have an inspector there every day that they're working, every minute of the day. They don't come look and then leave. They're there the whole time. And so it's a good firm to work with, and then you know things are done right. And if they have any questions, they can ask the inspector and get their answers right away, which helps in, you know, getting it done faster too.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for somebody to call you back.
Yeah.
Well, perfect.
One more question, sorry to go back to the payment on this, but the insurance company is the one that's going to either reimburse us or pay for this. Do they have to agree to this quote, or, I mean, if my twin's working over there and they say, I will only give you half that, do we have to do that ahead of time?
Well, I wish Jay was here to answer that question. We will submit all this stuff to her to deal with the insurance company, so.
I just don't wanna get stuck with it.
We've done a pretty good job of getting the money for the other railings
We've,
in town, so.
We've got 2 other ones that we've gotten done, and, well, we had 4 total if you count them all. We've got paid for 1. We've got some money from one of them. The other 2, Jay is supposed to be working on getting it done. One is the 11th Avenue bridge. It's completed except for guardrail for the pedestrian, and they have to have that made. As soon as it's dead, they'll come and put that in. And there's supposed to be insurance on that too. And then the other one was on Toledo, or Old Post Road. That's been hit twice, one on one side, now we got the other side. But they're supposed to be working on that too. That one is completed, been repaired.
The Pole Creek one, you mean?
Yes. Going out to the hospital. You probably noticed that. And we got that done, but we have not received funds. Jay, I'm like, David, she's supposed to be working on it, so, because she wanted all the bills, all the, everything, and
For a while there, they were
sent
coming
to
in so fast and furious, we were having a hard time. This is the one with this insurance company, this, trying to remind her, she was like, I don't, there's so many, which goes with what, but I know she's working on, and we did get one of them back already, so. We do need to fix it either way, but I mean, we will go after what we can for sure.
yeah, I'm with you, because my budget, I don't want to be short somewhere else. But she's supposed to be working on it. But like Dave said, we have to fix them, we can't just leave them.
Well,
Anything else?
I assume we have a motion to approve Chrisman Trucking for the project. Motion by Buckner,
Second?
by Radcliffe. Roll call, please.
Radcliffe? Buckner? Sherman?
Yes. All right, motion passes 3-0 to get to work on that. Fantastic. Well, have a safe drive home.
Drive safe.
Thanks for coming. All right, we are next. Chase.
Got a tough act to follow. I gotta go after Hank, right? Good evening, City Council and Mayor. My name is Chase Ferricks. I'm Parks Department Superintendent. Tonight, the Parks Department seeks the council's approval to move forward with resurfacing of the tennis courts and adding pickleball courts in Legion Park. During the 2024-25 budget planning process, $40,000 was appropriated for resurfacing the tennis courts and establishing pickleball courts. The last time the tennis courts were resurfaced was in 2015. In 2015, council approved a total renovation of the tennis courts. This renovation came with removal of existing fence posts and concrete foundation, along with removing 2 feet wide section of asphalt on the west side to accommodate 121 feet of fencing. And when I say 121 feet, that's one side, so I messed up lower on here, but that's one side strictly across east to west. They wanted 121 feet of fencing. Renner Sports Surface then performed the installation of a new 3/8 inch fine grade material and then poured a 5.5 or 4.5 thick concrete slab with rebar on top of it. Renner then installed a new surface on this slab that included primer, resurfacer, acrylic coating, color coating, and a new 10-foot fence was installed that allowed for 2 gates on each corner. They also installed tennis poles, nets, and center straps for both courts. And finally, Renner installed windscreens, and I have 121 feet, but it's actually 484 feet of fence surrounding the courts. Today, in 2024, our tennis courts are in need of repair. We are seeing flaking, bubbling, and in some spots, a complete removal of surface material. I have contacted the Renner sales rep for a quote to resurface the courts and add striping for 4 pickleball courts on the west side of the facility. The resurfacing procedure will start with power washing the surface, then scraping up loose surface material as needed. Then Renner will fill in cracks and start applying primer to the exposed concrete. They will apply 2 coats of acrylic color coating of our choice for color, and then finally stripe the courts for tennis and pickleball layout. Exclusions from this proposal are the nets and the net posts for pickleball courts. These posts and nets can be installed by our parks crew, and the other option is to have individuals rent out nets from the community center. This will allow for portable nets to be picked up and stored after everyday use. The renter quote was for $43,000 for the resurfacing and striping of tennis and pickleball courts. The permanent posts and nets for the pickleball courts are $500 apiece, making the total be $45,000 for this project. This is $5,000 more than what was appropriated for this purchase. I would submit to City Council for approval the quote of $43,000 from Renner Sports to resurface our tennis court facility and install pickleball courts. And I would also seek approval for the pickleball posts and nets for $2,000. Alternatives are to have individuals rent out the portable pickleball nets from the community center.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I had a couple quick things, Mr. Mayor. First of all, the one thing you didn't mention, which I'd like maybe for you to let them know, is how much we save by installing the nets ourselves rather than paying somebody to do it. It was quite expensive to pay somebody to install them.
Yes, so I asked Renner for the install. It was $5,600 just for the labor, and then they're gonna charge $800 a post, or for a pair of posts. So I looked online and found a company so it was altogether $9,000 for them to put in the posts.
Our parks crew will be saving a significant amount of money.
Down.
Yep, sorry.
There's your other side business, right? Right after you get done with the, right after you get done with the underpass. Yeah, so that's a huge significant savings. And then, the only other thing I wanted to mention is I know that this does come in, $4,000 or $5,000 more than what we had put in the budget. But I do remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember right, during strategic planning and during the budget workshops, the council had thought if need be, we could use a little bit of ACE monies too to make up the difference. So we're not draining his equipment reserve or whatever account more than what we need to be. So that is still an option if you choose to move forward.
I remember us talking even using the ACE fund for the whole thing, but it doesn't matter. We did
Yeah.
at least mention that.
And how many, so there's currently 2 tennis courts.
Yep.
Will there still be 2 tennis courts?
No, there will be 1 tennis court and then 4 pickleball.
Or on the one tennis court.
Yep.
Well, that looks
So
like
next to it is still that sand volleyball.
4 times
Yes.
more fun.
Yep.
Is that like 3.5? What's the math on that, David?
Pickleball.
So at least in between the tennis court and the pickleball courts, would there be something up so that,
There won't be, no, it'll be open between the tennis and the pickleball courts.
because I imagine the pickleball courts are gonna run east and west, right?
They will run north and south. So you can have 2 pickleball courts on each side of the tennis net. So
Gotcha.
so we'll still have, so there'll be 4 of them on the
Incredibly popular.
west side.
So silly question, can you play doubles pickleball or is it just a?
Yeah. Yep.
So you can have not only, this is tough for me, 4 courts would be, singles would be 8 people playing. There could be 16 and then 4 over on the other one. We could have 20 people playing instead of just 4.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
More physical activity.
Yep.
I love it.
And I know there is a group at the community center that uses the pickleball courts there a lot and have asked to have outdoor pickleball courts too. So thought it'd be a perfect time resurfacing and adding those, so.
I think it sounds like a growing sport. My hand-eye coordination ain't what it used to be, otherwise I'd probably.
Think about some separation between the courts, because if there's someone playing tennis and several people playing pickleball, there are gonna be balls flying everywhere and
Okay.
cable across there and hang something off it or something.
Yeah, there's nets and stuff like that that you could possibly use that to do.
Thinking about safety, I love it.
Mhm.
All right.
As I mentioned earlier, this supports the orthopedics program at the hospital. Just get middle-aged people out there playing pickleball.
It's a win-win. Either you get in shape or you go to the hospital.
It would if I was playing.
Always trying to create commerce in Sydney, one way or the other. All right, do we have a motion to approve the pickleball courts? Motion by Radcliffe, second by Buckner. Roll call, please.
Okay, I got a question for you. So we're approving the 43,000 plus the $5,000?
Two.
Plus the 2.
The what?
43 plus the 2. So altogether, it's 45.
Okay.
That is exactly what we were getting ready to do.
Okay.
And did you want to say plus whatever cost a center divider might be?
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah.
Yeah. So what?
So the motion was to approve the tennis court or the pickleball court renovation, the permanent nets, and a potential safety divider, for a total of 45,000 plus the safety divider. Is what Mr. Radcliffe motioned, and Mr. Buckner seconded, and then I asked for a roll call.
That's what I said.
Okay. Buckner,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes.
Radcliffe.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes
Thank you.
3-0.
Have a happy
Thank you. Good luck. All right. Now we have the revision of a second council meeting in December.
Yeah, I put this on here just because obviously our normal second and fourth Tuesdays of the month would land the second one on Christmas Eve. And so unless the council wants to hold a council meeting on Christmas Eve, I would just recommend that you move that maybe up a week and just do it on the 10th and the 17th instead. And we do have some things for both of those agendas already. I know Lori's got some liquor license and things that we can't really get on the 10th, but the 17th would be.
So busy, we can't take a meeting off. We'll have to move it up. Well, I agree. Is there a motion to approve the revision of the second city council meeting in December up 1 week to the 17th? Motion by Radcliffe, second by Buckner.
Sherman,
Roll call, please. Yes?
Radcliffe, Buckner.
That becomes the easiest thing we've done so far this evening.
Nobody wants to be on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, Christmas Eve? Nope, okay, go on. City manager's report.
I have a few things. I did attend the Nebraska City Managers Association meeting in Columbus, and then also the League Executive Board meeting in Lincoln just last week. And there's a lot of work to do, so I'm happy to be there. I think it's a fantastic group, and they're going to do some really good things. So I'm excited to be on that board. I think those are some really fantastic people, and I look forward to working with them. And I also want to remind everybody, December 7th, 5 p.m. is Holiday in Hickory, and we have a fantastic lineup. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's been out there on our website, on Facebook, but we will have the chili feed from 5. Well, that will start at 5, and that is actually being donated by Runza, so kudos to them. And then we have the Hayrack rides. The 21st Century is going to operate, taking them to the candlelight tours of the museum and the Historical Society. We will have the parade, which will start at 6 p.m., and then immediately following the parade, there'll be the lighting of the tree. And, of course, Santa will be there to meet with the kids. There will be a photo booth behind Charlotte and Emerson. There's s'mores donated by Peddler's Corners, hot chocolate, Sydney Regional Medical Center, ornament kits by the Sydney Public Library. Black Hills Energy has donated candy canes for Santa to hand to the kids. And Royal Flush is providing porta potties for the event. So should be really awesome. Hopefully the weather isn't too freezing cold, but come down on December 7th, especially anybody in the public that has children. Be a great night to see a parade and see Santa. So, and then also wanted to remind the council to save the date for January 10th. That will be our employee appreciation banquet. So just so that you know that.
Is it when?
January 10th that's the employee appreciation banquet date. So I don't know a time for that yet. Usually we do that like at 5:30 or 6 or something, but we'll get that out to you as soon as we know the exact time.
Hank be the MC again?
Put you on the spot.
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go. It always makes it more fun, doesn't it? And then one last thing, I just wanted to congratulate our wastewater superintendent, Todd Suckup. He recently received the 2024 Water Environment Federation William D. Hatfield Award. The Hatfield Award is presented to operators of wastewater treatment plants for outstanding performance and professionalism. So way to go, Todd Suckup, for bringing home the hardware from their last conference. It was hard because I don't think he wanted to go, and I had to kind of trick him into going to receive his award. But I got a lot of help from his wife, so he was surprised when he got there. Congratulations to Todd on that. That's all I had for now.
All right. Lori?
Nope.
You want to say anything on Jay's behalf?
No?
I love
Smart.
it that she asked. Hank?
Don't have nothing pending or anything. Just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
That's the public and everybody.
Everybody.
Same one, yes.
That's perfect. All right. Sorry. Autumn?
You have 15 views. So, you have 15 people on tonight.
That's awesome. And did you want to add anything else other than the massive numbers we have out there?
Some fan base.
Sam?
Let's see. This last 2 weeks, we've responded to over 290 calls of service, so kind of a busier last week for us. Got a new flagpole installed thanks to Chase and the Parks Department. They were able to get that installed for us, so given cure time on the concrete, we'll be having the flag up hopefully next week, which is kind of nice for this station to have a flagpole. So
Yeah.
be on there. And then we also concluded up our big training series we've had for the month at North Elementary, which was awesome to see representatives from Kimball, us, Cheyenne County. Dispatch sent their dispatchers up to witness what we actually see and talk to our guys and vice versa. Ambulance service came along. State Patrol was there. It was a pretty big event. Got some awesome role players. Lori was one of them. She played next to
Really?
the dead person.
That's a skill that a lot of people underestimate. The dead person.
Yeah, she
But
played it to a T, so.
Yeah, all they said to me was, she's gone.
But we
That's
had a lot
awesome.
of fun. We learned a lot of, took away a lot of ways to improve and to kind of grow and identify some things that we were doing well. And hopefully we'll be continuing that on a quarterly basis.
great.
I might add, it was very interesting. I could only imagine how intense it would really be,
Not a situation you want to deal with, but one you want to be ready for certain.
It was awesome that we have role players that were not of law enforcement, because it actually added a sense of realism for our guys, as well
Right.
as it does allow people not in our culture to see what we do, such as Lori, and so it said it was kind of a double win for that situation. So
I was taking pictures as I was laying dead.
Well, then you weren't doing a very good job of being dead. All right. Thank you.
got a question. I saw you put up a sign out there. Is that temporary though? Are we gonna get a different one than that? We do have one going on the side of the building. It's a metal fabricated one. They just can't put it up until after Thanksgiving. I just think it's the one that's there is nice now and everything, but it's pretty small. You drive around town, you're like, where's the police department? Yeah, the one not pretty hard to tell. Actually, we have it, and it's already been received. It just needs somebody more talented than me to put it up, and it'll be approximately 20 feet wide, and you'll be able to see it from basically Walmart. So
Okay.
that'll help. So
That might be
if I do it, it'll
overkill,
be
but
crooked,
yeah.
spelled wrong, and there's just nobody wants that. So.
Perfect. All right. Mrs. Peacock, Amanda.
I got 3 things for you guys. The bookmobile is currently in for maintenance, be expected to be done next week. The Friends of the Sydney Public Library have an ornament decorating contest going at the library. They did this the last 2 years as well, and it's pretty neat. You can decorate an ornament, and then people get to vote on their favorite. So if you don't want to And the library open house is December 18th. So our open house is all day, so you can stop by. We have lots of goodies and hot chocolate and apple cider and coffee. Eileen Nightingale, our children's librarian, does story time that day. So there's a story time at 10:15 and one at 11:15. Our Merry Grinchmas party is also that day from 2 to 4. So it'll be a real busy day at the library. And on top of that, it's also book sale week. So if you're looking for a few books to add to your home collection, the book sale will be open.
Yeah, that always made Joe happy.
You did.
It's the only question he ever asked any librarian.
When's the next sale, yeah?
All right, well, thank you.
I don't think I have anything.
All right, well, let's see if we can make this go over an hour. So again, I absolutely love, I think Paul said it last time, small city doing big city stuff. People working together, different departments, different thing. You said that? Well, I apologize for that. And you showed up to the meeting too, by the way. And you didn't answer that call. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. And then David mentioned the December 7th holiday in Hickory. Another fun part about that, and that hay rack ride, they do drop you off at the museums. You can go in and out of there and then check those out and get back. And as Heidi talked about the fire department and the first responders, but the fire department, and I know I got a letter in the mail about donations to help them out. So if you haven't, stuff some money or a check. I don't think you're supposed to put money in an envelope or however that works, but you know, get some money to them. Help support them for what they do, the calls that they answer in the middle of the night, in the afternoon, in the morning. They're always showing up, so please consider that. And then, again, congratulations to Todd in his award. And then, as people are considering all the economic potential in Sydney, you can start your own net replacement business. You can work at the comm center, you can build bridges, custom railings, and it sounds like there's a need for driver education. So, with that being said, thank you all, and again, happy Thanksgiving, and happy, safe Thanksgiving, as Hank said. So, with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 6:30. Thank you.